All right, there's a chill in the air. It's November, and that means the heat's coming on. My heat's already been on in the house. It's chilly out there. Naturally, we want our homes to be efficient. We want to save money. So we're going to speak to our friends from New Jersey Natural Gas to find out what's the best way to keep our homes comfortable and energy efficient. If you want to know more about this, just stay tuned. Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Scan FYI. My guest today is Gary Pavarnik from New Jersey Natural Gas. Hi, Gary.
Good morning, Andrea. How are you doing today?
So I'm doing well, and you know what, Gary? It's that time of the year. It's definitely chilly, and I leave my thermostat on 65. I really don't touch it, and in the last couple of weeks, it kicked on because it was chilly.
Yes, we have had some challenging days there. And yeah, we're going to speak about what we should be doing now that the weather is starting to get colder and look for opportunities to save money.
Save Green is all about saving money. So what's the first thing that we should be aware of? The seasons are changing. Winter is on the horizon.
Absolutely. So, much like yourself, if you haven't tried turning on your heating equipment,
Oh yeah.
now's the time to do it. It's don't wait till the last minute. I know there's a lot of frugal people out there. They challenge themselves. Let's wait till, the last minute and then, turn on the heating system when it's cold outside. And guess what happens? The
Nothing
heating system
happens.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure. So, here at Save Green, New Jersey Natural Gas Energy Program, we're here to help you make sure that your equipment is in tip-top shape. But if it's not, we have any number of energy efficiency programs that can help people if there's a need to go out and replace their equipment. So waiting to the last minute, that's not a good thing.
No.
It's not a bad idea. We always talk about the filters, right? Make sure you change your filter. You may want to, at that time, if you can, how old is your system? Is it 5 years old, 15 years old, 20 years old? Most people really don't know. They always say, oh, it's brand new when it's actually 20
It's
years
been
old.
it's been brand new for 20 years. Yeah.
Yes, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Right, right,
So,
right.
we're here at Save Green. We want customers to save money. We want them to make their homes more energy efficient, and we'll kind of explore some ways that we can do that.
So, first of all, the first thing, you mentioned it, and if you haven't changed your filters yet, do that right away. And I take a magic marker and I date my filter so there is no doubt when I look at it that I know when I change the filter. That's my personal tip for everybody. Magic marker.
That's a fantastic idea. We talked about filters in the past. There are any number of styles. You don't need to go out and spend an extremely amount of money, providing that you keep up with the replacement of the filter. I mean, that's very important. And your
Mhm.
suggestion of dating it is a simple one. Magic marker, put it on the edge of the filter, and basically you'll know when did I replace it last because we all forget. We know that. So
Yeah. And
that's
of course,
very
a
critical.
clean
Very critical.
filter is obviously critical to having, a clean house. Now, these are tough times, Gary, for a lot of people. We understand that. And let's talk about how New Jersey Natural Gas, Save Green, you are very accommodating for people that might be struggling a little bit, but yeah, you still maybe need a new furnace, you need a new heating system. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? By the way, let me remind everyone, should you need to reach out to New Jersey Natural Gas, Save Green, The website and the phone number is right on your screen, right there. Okay.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you mentioned that. Um, yeah, New Jersey Natural Gas, the Save Green program, we're here to help customers. Basically, we have any number of incentives, and the incentives are for everybody. We have everything that goes from income qualifying customers, where there's really some really good enhancements. We have rebate programs to help customers upgrade their equipment, whether it's their HVAC, their water heater, upgrading it to high efficient. That's what we highly recommend. Doing that makes your home more energy efficient, lowers your bills, which we all want to do nowadays, and make your home more comfortable. So some of the programs are fantastic. And as you said, all the information you need is right there on the screen. And visit our website and find out what programs you could qualify for. We have the rebate programs. We have rebates for income qualified customers. I mentioned that before. There's basically an incentive for income qualifying people where you can get up to $25,000 in assistance over the course of 10 years. And basically, it's a
A lot.
program that we call it the on bill repayment program, and it's something that there's rebates for anybody and everybody that installs high efficient qualifying equipment. And then for those who are income qualified, besides the rebates, you can get an additional $300 per piece of equipment that qualifies for replacement. So there are some really good incentives, and up to $25,000 for up to 10 years for income qualified,
Hmm.
0% financing, and it goes right into your gas bill. How can you get anything better than that?
You kind of can. And here's the thing, if you're sitting on a furnace that's 20 years old, I think you're going to have some pretty expensive heating bills, and it's probably in your best interest to check out how you can save money with a new furnace.
Absolutely. And we're all the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That works with some things.
Yeah,
But when it
yeah.
comes to your comfort and your house and your heating, you want to kind of be proactive. You don't want to wait till that last minute. All of a sudden, I need to replace my equipment. You know, we can help you do that. But, waiting till the last minute when it's not working, broke, now you're in a desperate situation and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So, looking at the furnace, maybe some people have a maintenance contract. When the service guy comes out and does the fire up during the summer, the heating season, hey, how old's the equipment? How is it? Is it in good shape? And hopefully you've got a reputable person that you trust. And they might tell you, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, it might be time to start looking at a new piece of equipment. With that being said, take his word for it, go to Save Green, and look and see what kind of programs are out there for you. That's what we're here for. Make your home more energy efficient, lower your bills, and we care about your comfort.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing is being comfortable in your house. You don't want to be hot in the summer, you don't want to be cold in the winter. And I know I'll tell you, I go to a lot of people's homes and their answer is always, well, the thermostat is set on, 55. Um, that's not too good.
Yeah, no,
We want to be comfortable. So if
absolutely.
your heating equipment is so old that the only way you can, maintain it is to set it at 55, then I think it is time to look for something new that you can actually be warm in your home.
Absolutely. If you take a piece of equipment, as you mentioned, 20 plus years old, that thing is struggling to heat your home. That's probably why your heating bills are through the roof.
Hmm.
So, look into our programs. They're for everybody, not just people who can afford equipment in this day and age. Again, income qualified, 0% financing, very generous rebates. I mean, you can't beat the deal, that's for sure.
You know what, Gary? Talk about hot water heaters because I mean, obviously, we use hot water 12 months a year, and I feel like that's another thing that's neglected until it's done. So, what's the life of a hot water heater approximately?
Typically, the manufacturers usually tell you every 10 years, just say for a water heater, and for your heating equipment, 20 years. So, water heaters, we have that mentality, like I said before, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't want to be a victim of a water tank bursting open.
Been there,
Okay.
been
That
there.
is
Yeah.
one heck. This guy, too, been there, and I just put it off. I knew I had to replace it. And then one day, getting ready to take a shower, and I'm like, the water's not really getting hot. So I just said, probably a thermal coupler, something simple. And lo and behold, I kind of struggled with taking that shower. And when I went into my basement utility room, I opened the door and I went, oh my Lord. So I know that feeling. You don't want to be that person. You know, most of the hot water heaters, if you look at the label, they do have sometimes they have a date on it, manufacturing date. When you mentioned about putting the date on a filter, that's easy.
But you could put
Now,
it on your water heater too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, most contractors who are really good, they'll do that. They'll take a magic marker, install date. So there's no question about it. And if 10 years may seem a little bit, well, it's still working. Yeah, I guess, I'm a homeowner too. You're a homeowner. But, don't chance it if it's getting up there in age. You don't want to be one of those people that has the stories like we have. So be
No,
proactive. Be
no,
proactive. Um, you know, you're correct. Water heaters work year round. Heating equipment works in the winter, cooling equipment works in the summer. So they get a break in between, not our water heaters. Those
no.
things are running all the time. So keep those things in mind too. And they also qualify for incentives from the Save Green program. So, you know, it's something that, you might want to just, let me see if there's a date on there. Be proactive. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait for it to break.
Are there other appliances besides a hot water heater and the heating system, the air conditioning? Is there anything else that qualifies for any
Um,
kind of rebate? Like I think about your dishwasher, I think about a washing machine, anything that's using a lot of energy.
yeah, there's probably rebates for just about any type of an appliance. You mentioned washers, dryers, New Jersey Clean Energy Program. If you got some time, visit that website. Your thermostats, your high energy efficient thermostats, washers, dryers, refrigerators, dishwashers, all those things have incentives. And by visiting that website, New Jersey Clean Energy, um, you can find out what actually qualifies. A lot of times, people will buy a piece of equipment and not even realize that they got to apply for a rebate. Hopefully, where they bought it, they're smart enough to let them know. But yeah, when you
They
talk
might
about
not.
rebates,
Yeah,
yeah,
they might not.
when you talk about rebates, there's almost anything and everything qualifies for rebates. I mean, you buy a car, you get a rebate. So that was a good point you brought up. But we're interested in your heating and cooling and
Yes,
your hot water heaters.
yes.
So, visiting Save Green or call up the number, speak one of our consultants. They can walk you right through the programs. Find out what you qualify for. Take the guesswork out of it. Reach out to them. They're very helpful. Explain your situation. They'll be able to identify what's the best program for you.
The whole goal here is that we want you to be warm and comfortable and safe in your home 12 months a year, but we're focusing on the winter because winter's coming. And I really think it's important if you haven't turned on your heating system yet, do it now because you don't want to wait till the blizzard arrives or the, minus 11 degrees and now you're wondering why your heat isn't working. And look, you're right. People, we naturally don't think about that, but turn on your heat, make sure it's working. And if it's not working, that number on the screen, that's what you need to do. You need to call them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you might be the one that turns on your equipment and it doesn't work. There's probably hundreds of people just like you. So now everybody is without heat.
Right.
Everybody wants the guy there today. And guess what? Those guys are busy. So be smart, be proactive, give that heating equipment a good test, make sure it works, and you're be in good shape.
Absolutely. We want you to be warm and comfortable 12 months a year.
Absolutely. And we want you to save money. I mean, that's what
Well,
we're all about. People will say, well, don't you want me to use more gas to make more money? No, we
no.
don't want to do that. We want you to be energy efficient. We want you to use less gas, in doing equipment upgrades to high efficient. You will see a change. You will see a change. Those things do work, and the incentives are there for you. So it's something that we want you to be energy efficient. Okay. We want you to save money. And most important, we want you to be comfortable in your home at a reasonable cost.
Again, the numbers, the website, the phone number, it's right on the screen. Don't hesitate. Just pick up the phone, make a phone call, find out what you qualify for. Gary, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, hear what you have to say, and today was no exception. Always loved having you on FYI. Thanks for being here.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Andre, as always.
So remember out there, if it's important to you, it's important to us. I'm Andrea Tarr, and we'll see you next time on Scan FYI. Bye, everyone, and bye, Gary.
Have a great day, everyone.